Hey everybody, welcome back. We're going to continue flipping through my 2022 memory keeping planner today. So today we're going to cover quarter three, July through September. Let's just get on into it. So July was pretty busy, but at the same time, we spent half of the month kind of isolating a bit because we kept going to events and it seemed like everyone kept getting COVID during this time, which was weird during the summer months. So let's just go ahead and take a look at what that looked like. But then I also, at the very end of the month, went to visit my brother back east and went to New York City for the first time. So that was exciting. This was the first full week of July. We finalized our wedding guest list for real and ordered our save the dates. Obviously, this was 4th of July. We did a charcuterie board. We finished the 4th season of Stranger Things, and then we were getting news that the family reunion we had just gone to, a bunch of people were getting sick, so that was kind of stressful. Somehow we didn't get anything. We didn't get sick, we didn't test positive, none of that, even though we were in very close contact with people. So that was good. Oh, we started planning our honeymoon here. That was nice. We needed something to look forward to besides our wedding. And then we went to Griffith Park for Shakespeare in the Park. That is one of my favorite things about summertime in the Los Angeles area. And then we were addressing all of our save the dates. Oh yeah, because this was what happened. We had postponed ordering them because I was feeling really stressed out trying to fit all this stuff in before we went away the weekend prior. We ordered the save the dates here and somehow they showed up already this day. So shout out to Shutterfly. Then the next week, oh yeah, we went to a barbecue this day and then we potentially got exposed to COVID again. So that was great. Again, we didn't get it somehow. We put together all our save the dates and mailed them out because this was 6 months. This was exactly the halfway point in our engagement. So it was 6 months till our wedding and then we were 6 months engaged on this day. Luckily, testing negative for COVID after all of the exposures. And we started booking our honeymoon. So we actually booked the flights this day, which was great. I can't go into a ton of detail with this just because it's not my story to tell, but this is where my now husband's cousin was starting to get really sick and he ended up passing away at the end of this year. We just went to the funeral this last week. That's why it's kind of on the top of my mind. So he was starting to visit him in the hospital here. It was just a weird time to be planning a wedding because it felt like a lot of people who we really cared about were going through some really rough stuff. So it's we have save the dates going out for our wedding in 6 months and we're shopping for wedding rings over here up in LA. But then there's just all these other things going on in the background. So it was, that's life though, right? So feeling good about the save the dates and progressing with our wedding planning, but there were also some things to kind of be sad about. This was the week where I was supposed to leave for Pennsylvania on this Saturday, and around this time, if you were traveling during this time, you might remember lots of flights were getting canceled. This particular weekend, it felt like pretty much everywhere was getting hit by a thunderstorm. So I don't feel like I did a whole lot during the week. I was mostly, getting ready to travel for the next week. We did start a couples counseling book this week as our version of premarital counseling. I'm really glad that we did that. And we started it fairly early on. We also did our food tasting or our menu tasting at our venue. They had an event that you buy tickets for. And we won our cake stand at our event. So that was cool. You can hear more about that in the plan with me for this week. The cake stand looked really nice. I'm glad we ended up having that. So yeah, then this morning I woke up. I was supposed to fly to Pittsburgh this day, but my flight got completely canceled and rebooked for the next day. And I ended up changing the flight because the flight they put me on, I didn't want to be on that one. But then I ended up leaving the next day and I got stuck in the Denver airport for 5 hours longer than I wanted to. The food at the Denver airport, at least in the section where I was stuck, was not particularly good. But eventually I got to Pittsburgh at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I felt really homesick during this trip, honestly. I was visiting my brother. It was great to see him. But I really missed my my fiance at the time, and our cat, who is currently to the right of me, shoving her toys into underneath the closet door so that I can go retrieve them later. But right now she's trying to get them out. It's a weird game she likes to play. Okay, and then this week is decorated for New York City because I was in Pittsburgh these 2 days, but then we made our way over to New York City. So I have lots of extenders here. I really like how this week turned out. I've got a kit, and then I've got a bunch of New York overlays from Planet Hannah. So in Pittsburgh, I think the most notable sites were the Mount Washington area. That was really cool. We went up there this day. And then we took the train out to New York City, which took all day, but was really cool to see like all of Pennsylvania, basically. Made our way all the way across there. And then this day, I mostly spent alone because my brother had to work. But I saw a lot of the typical sites. I went to the Natural History Museum and walked through Central Park and walked by the Met and Fifth Avenue and walked up to the top of the newer library. That was cool to see the view from there. And then this day we went to the Statue of Liberty together, and then also went to the Ellis Island Museum together, as well as Wall Street and, of course, the World Trade Center Memorial. And then we went and saw an off-Broadway show this evening, which was really fun. I'm glad we did that. And then I flew home this day, but not before I went to the Tenement Museum on the Lower East Side, which I really liked. It was like a walking tour of the neighborhood and the history of it. That was cool. Took a direct flight on JetBlue from JFK to Ontario, California. Great flight. I got the whole row to myself. It was amazing. I love JetBlue. Obviously, not every flight can you get a row to yourself, but on that one I did, and that was nice for a 6-hour flight. And then Nathan and I went on a brunch date when I got back, and that was the end of July. August was a little more chill, especially because I was about to go back to work, and I feel like 5 months before the wedding is where things start to get kind of intense. So let's take a look at that. This week we didn't do much of anything, just kind of recovering from being gone for a whole week. I was doing little bits of wedding planning here and there. I did take my dress in for its first fitting rather early on, but that's because I was just trying to get a quote. But then they were like, well, we can't give you a quote unless we see the dress. So I'm like, okay. So I took my dress in like really early for fitting, but then it was done early and like my size didn't fluctuate, luckily. So it was totally fine. And then I could have it done like 2 months early and not have to worry about it. What else happened here? Oh yeah, we like started our premarital counseling in earnest. So like once a week, unless we were out of town, and then we had to like make up 2 weeks, we were doing a chapter in the book. So that was good. Oh, and we chose our wedding menu here because we had gone to the menu tasting the weekend before. So we were like, while those memories are still fresh in our mind, let's pick our entrees and our appetizers and all of that. So that was really good. I'll talk more about what we actually picked as far as food once we get to the wedding week when I memory keep that. I was brainstorming floral and cake ideas, even though we went with pretty standard stuff, but I just wanted to have like an idea of where I was going with that for the wedding. This is where where did I hurt my ankle in all of this? I'm not really sure, but my ankle was hurting me a lot. Had to wrap it up. That was not fun. We went to Dana Point and just kind of lounged around this day. And then we're continuing with our counseling and working on a binder that we had to work on for our venue, which was really helpful to keep us on track. This was the week that we met with our florist. Gonna be real, the florist we had to work with because they were contracted with the venue. We didn't have to work with them, but they were included in our package. Did not love them. I ended up doing silk flowers for bouquets and boutonnieres and stuff because, I don't know, I just didn't, it was going to be really expensive to do what I wanted in real flowers. And also I just didn't love working with these people, honestly. We'll get more into that when we get to 2023 memory keeping. Doing a lot of decoration stuff, like brainstorming. And then Nathan actually designed our cake topper, if you did not know. So that was cool. We went to a live orchestra performance of Empire Strikes Back. Hold on. I heard my cat messing with something, but the something she was messing with was her cat tree, so that's acceptable. Yeah, we went to a live orchestra viewing of Empire Strikes Back. We kept working on the premarital counseling and the venue binder because we were going to meet with them in September. This was where I went back to work for the fall semester. I ordered the bouquets and the boutonnieres and the corsages from a website called Link's Moment. They turned out great. Like, there are so many people, both on the internet and a couple people in real life, who were like, oh, you're going to regret doing fake flowers. I regret nothing. Did they exactly match the centerpieces? No, because they were not the same situation. But I loved how the fake flowers photographed, and I think they looked pretty good in real life too. So I have no regrets. And I get to keep my wedding bouquet forever, so that's really neat. And then what else happened this week? Can you hear my cat right now? She has one of those crinkle balls. Oh yeah, this was where I had to reschedule a dentist appointment because my student emailed me to say that they had COVID and I had just seen them the day before. So I tested negative and everything and still went to work, but I did reschedule my dentist appointment because, like, obviously I can't wear a mask at the dentist and get what I need to get done there. Oh, we went back to Griffith Park to see Macbeth, more Shakespeare in the park. That was great. I was testing negative for COVID, so that was good. Yeah, that was a stressful first week of the semester. Somehow, even though we just went back in January, like, we haven't had that issue this semester. Thank goodness. Okay, September, we went on a little trip and then had lots of wedding appointments. So this weekend, for Labor Day weekend, we went to Berkeley, which is our alma mater, and we went to a football game. So that was a lot of fun. We were gone like all of these days. So did anything interesting happen here? No, I mean, I was ordering my wedding accessories, which was fun, and the flowers arrived, which was also fun. But other than that, you know, we drove up to Berkeley this day, we went to the game this day, and then we went to the botanical garden that we had never gone to as students, even though it was free back then when we were students, on this day. That was really fun. And then we drove home this day after having brunch in Berkeley. And I don't think much happened. It was really, really, really hot, which was terrible. But this is like that scene from Parks and Recreation with the janitor. There's just a guy pushing a cart, blasting Shania Twain. I don't know if you can hear that. This is my life. It's pretty entertaining. Okay, where were we? Yeah, we got home this day, doing some wedding planning. Like, I was trying to figure out what poems I wanted people to read at the actual wedding ceremony. Oh, and we went up to my fiance's best man's apartment in LA, and we were trying to figure out signature cocktails. I think the signature cocktails we ended up coming up with are really strong. Oopsies. But yeah, I didn't drink a lot of the signature cocktail or of anything really at the actual wedding. Like, I was just like sipping on stuff, but yeah, it was a good time. I ordered my wedding shoes. I just got cheap shoes from Lulu's. And then here we were 4 months out from the wedding at this point. So we did have they schedule this like when you book with them. So we had a meeting with them this Friday. So we had to go over kind of like the broad strokes of what details we wanted with our wedding. We booked our honeymoon hotels. Oh, this is where Nathan resized the bracelet I was supposed to wear the wedding day, but the bracelet actually broke on the wedding day, so I didn't end up wearing it. Oopsies. Ordered our guest book, and then we were working at the Getty Festival. They had a birthday party at the Getty this weekend. So tired after that, though. This was the point in wedding planning and in the semester where I'm like, I really can't agree to do anything extra at this point because I just realized how much of a toll everything was taking on me. I'm like, I cannot agree to do anything extra at this point in the year. This was our cat's birthday. We're never going to know when her birthday is. I say that every time. So we celebrated with her. I had another dress fitting and I met up with my friend Wendy. So that was fun, even though the dress was not worked on at all at that point, which was a little frustrating. It's it's annoying when like you're a bride who's on top of everything and you're doing things early, and then the people who come in at the last minute are the ones who get prioritized. That was a little frustrating, especially with like dress fitting. Everyone throughout my whole wedding planning process was always like, you're so organized, you're so on top of things. And, you know, that was good for us, but it got annoying sometimes when they're like, well, I'm making all these exceptions for all these last minute people. And then they're like complaining to me about them not setting boundaries with people. It was kind of weird. I'm like, okay, I'm listening to you. But at the same time, like, maybe set a boundary with customers. That's all I'm saying. Regardless, the dress fitting was fine. It's just, it was kind of pointless to go this particular day, honestly. Okay, sorry about that rant. Then this was where I got my COVID Omicron booster, because after the summer that we had where we just kept getting exposed, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to take any chances. I have not gotten this thing yet. Let's get this booster as soon as possible, especially because I was working in person at a university, and at this point, like, nobody was wearing, some people were still wearing masks, but like not many people were. So I'm like, boost me up. That one hit me a lot more than the previous year's booster did, for sure. But I think that means it's more effective because I still have not gotten COVID. I don't know how that's possible, considering that I work in person. But I guess these shots are working for me. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I managed to crawl out of bed, decorate for Halloween, and we finished our premarital counseling this weekend, which was good because this was October 1st. So then we could just focus on being like, hey, I guess we're ready to get married. We can just focus on all the other stuff going on. Ordered our wedding rings. Oh, and then we get into October. These are some photos from my bachelorette party and from the Halloween party we had the next weekend. So that'll actually be the end of this video, I just realized. So that is July through September in my planner. I hope you enjoyed hearing about it. Let's end on a prettier spread than this one. This was a leftover spread, and I love this art, but like this one's much prettier. So let's end here. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed hearing about what I was up to in Q3 of 2022. I will talk to you next time. Bye.